longer. I know, for example, Diggity and Moletrap, who went to the press release thing before BlizzCon and got to play it there as well as on BlizzCon. They've written extensive articles about StarCraft 2 and the commentator tools and functions that will be built in with the game, which are basically a wet dream for people like you and others who do StarCraft commentaries. What are your specific thoughts about that?
Well, for one, I think it's awesome that they're finally trying to actually make it not only a very playable game, but a very fun to watch game being played. A lot of times we see games like Counter-Strike, where you really can't get a feel for what's going on because you don't have good tools at your disposal. StarCraft, they did a pretty good job where they didn't do it intentionally, but just having observers who can watch the battles, assuming the observer really knows what's going on, they can do a good job. But to have specific commentary tools where you can see, how many minerals a player has, what the side count is, how many units of a specific, unit that they've made is, and really that goes a lot towards talking to strategy and trying to point out the strengths and weaknesses in people's play. So I think that's awesome. I'm very curious how it's actually going to work out in terms of, well, in the end, I'm still going to be recording StarCraft games. But if I'm casting games from foreigners, it's great. But if I'm casting games from Korean pro gamers, it doesn't do me as much good. It's going to be basically up to whoever the Korean commentators are, and I'm really commentating off of what they're talking about. So we'll see how it works, with the pro scene in particular.
Yeah, earlier today I watched from BlizzCon some exclusive material Blizzard just released about a 2v2 match which took place between in-house Blizzard staff, and they showcased some of these new functions that you could press on a button, there came up a screen and you saw what every player was building right now and what was queued and etc. And it seemed very, very powerful indeed. It seemed almost too much information maybe, but assuming a good cameraman can choose what to show at what time, I'm sure that could be a great addition. However, moving on, the new season in Korea is kicking off. I think Proleague starts this weekend. If I'm wrong, people will flame me, and all the individual leagues will kick off soon. What are your thoughts about that? Any predictions, hopes, or rants?
Well, I guess I should start off by reiterating my original prediction of Huyk will destroy all in 2009.
Obviously.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see if that actually happens. But really, obviously we still have a lot of very solid players there, and I would have to go back to people like Jaedong. He's been a very solid player, even though he didn't win all golds everywhere. He has been very solid and very consistent throughout his pluses and minuses. But challengers have come up to face him, like Calm. Calm is a great example. I think Bisu will continue to stay in strength. I'm hoping to see a rebound from Flash. Iris has been coming up and coming for quite a while. And then we have the other Zergs like Quanro, who made a really good showing but didn't, finish strongly enough in my opinion. Effort, who always comes close, along with Fantasy. Those guys, I think, will all have a good showing. But my prediction would basically be if we say outside of Huyk, because we already know he's going to destroy everybody. To be fair to all the other players, I would say that I think that Jaedong and Bisu, and I'm going to actually put Iris's name up in that grouping, are going to be some of the top players to watch out for, again, in a lot of cases. Because I don't know if Com can really keep up his reign of pain that he managed to do earlier. But, if he can, great. Prove me wrong. I'd love to see it.
Definitely. And Iris, as you say, I think is a very strong name. A relative old-timer like that, and a very aggressive Terran. And his performance in GOM TV was certainly very strong. And speaking of that, there's the big mystery surrounding GOM TV right now. We all know it's not happening right now. We have gotten 3 Twitter messages from Daniel Lee saying we don't really know. What do you think is going on with GOM TV?
I think GOM TV is trying to fight in a marketplace that's already saturated. MSL and OSL for individual leagues are already very prestigious leagues. Everything else is really just a tournament. You know, it's not the people don't go for, wow, he got the GOM title last year. No, people are like, did he win a golden mouse? Did he get has he won more than one MSL title? Proleague is also pretty important, but really GOM TV has jumped in where there are already individual leagues. So what else are they really offering players? I mean, obviously for foreigners, they offer the English commentary. The question is that enough to sustain a company that exists in South Korea, or at least I believe it does? I would say that no. I mean, really, they have to rely on South Korea marketplace more than us, because that's where the real market is for their advertisers who are going to be paying for whatever advertisements throughout the site. So I think it's going to be tough for GOM to really come through on this. They got to offer something different, maybe a different format. Maybe they got to go into Team Melee. I don't know. It's one of those things where I just think they're fighting in a place where they're starting way behind two other monsters. How can they really catch up?
No, that's definitely a tough one, and you know, just as you're saying that, it astonishes me that when you watch the GOM live stream, you get to see Korean commercials on a foreign dedicated stream, when they could, in my view, easily make quite a lot of money by selling those spots to Intel or whatever us non-Koreans like. Well, since they don't, I assume there are difficulties involved that I'm not aware of, but they're definitely wasting the effort on the demographic that is us. And clearly they made some bad decisions. Though what I am getting at is that some people around the community is saying that this is a punishment from Kespa for GOM TV getting too involved with Blizzard and trying to undercut Kespa's supreme rule over the Korean esports culture. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think that Kespa necessarily has anything to say about GOM. I think GOM is its own entity, and really, assuming they can exist outside the boundaries that is Kespa, it shouldn't be a big deal. But if Kespa can't have a monopoly on the players and obviously prevent them from playing over there, then there's no way that GOM could survive. I would say more likely it's because of poor business practices by GOM in terms of, like you were talking about, demographics that they're advertising to. Because in the end, StarCraft is a game to the players and to the viewers watching, but to everybody running the show, it's a business. And so they have obvious needs that they have to fill, namely making money. And I think that Kespa has just got a stranglehold on that market because they have everyone watching them already. So why should some sponsor pay GOM to air their commercials when Kespa's got viewing ratings through the roof in comparison? And so I don't really think it's too much of undercutting or anything like that. I think it's a tough marketplace for them to try to exist in.
Yes, don't I know it, having attempted to run a StarCraft dedicated website for over a year without making a dime. But I love it, so it doesn't matter. I do hope that it's no worse than what you say, and that there's no malicious backstabbing behind the curtains of esports, and that it's rather poor business practice than dictatorship from Kespa, which seems to be the prevailing view among many. However, this interview is getting close to 20 minutes, so I thought I'd round this off by asking when approximately can we look forward to hearing you and Cholera do another dual commentary of Hyk's next game?
Well, first we'd have to actually see Huyk playing a game, but assuming he does that in the next couple of weeks, I would say in the next couple of weeks, because I am unemployed as of Friday afternoon, and you can expect. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. You can expect quite a few VODs coming from myself at the very least, and I know Cholera is available anyway to do commentaries every now and again. So assuming that Huyk is playing some games worth commentating, we'll be doing them for sure.
That is excellent news to hear. Well, thank you very much for doing this interview, Rise. Do you have any final rants, shout-outs, or famous last words you want to share with the world?
Sure. Obviously, the most important advice that I can ever give anybody is don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Truth as it was spoken, indeed. Well, Thank you very much, and have a continued good day in the US of A, and good game.
GG!